Greetings, welcome, and good day. You are now tuned into the 22nd episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. I'm so happy you can make it to another chapter of the show. This week we're joined by retired Army First Sergeant Shakara Debose. First Sergeant Debose never considered a life in the military until she took her cousin to take the ASVAB and left as the only one of them to get recruited. She went on to become a 42 Alpha, working in human resources for 23 years until she wrapped up her career in the Army as a MEPS First Sergeant. First Sergeant Debose is a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and since leaving the Army in September of 2023, she's become a mental health advocate. She works diligently to bring awareness to the importance of mental health and remove the stigma from the conversation around it. During her 23-year-long career, First Sergeant Debose managed to collect 3 Article 15s before becoming an E5 and still managed to retire as an E8. And if you're familiar with how career-debilitating even one Article 15 can be, then you can already see how impressive she must have been to have amassed 3 of them and still retire with honor. Those Article 15s didn't stop her career, but they are the reason I'm naming this episode Triple Threat. Friend! Hey, friend, how's it going now?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a beautiful Sunday morning on the West Coast here. It didn't rain at all this weekend, so I'm just grateful for that because it's been very wet the last couple of months. Then I'm really just appreciating daylight savings time. The sun is up earlier and later as well, so it's a series of beautiful days.
And I'm looking forward to all of them.
Heck yeah.
Listen. The Pacific Northwest, I truly understand that. Like, I've been waiting. I'm not looking forward to the rain, but I'm waiting for that continuous sun. Okay.
Absolutely. Longer than
my life levels to continue to rise.
I love it. I love it. All right. If you don't mind my asking, what is your connection to the service?
I did. Well, first I'll say, my name is Shakara Debose. I did 23 years in the military.
Come on.
Served in the Army.
Come on.
Young, 23 years. I just retired in September.
Come on, a fresh retiree.
Yeah, fresh retiree. So I'm still adjusting. Still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. But yeah. 23 years, I'm connected to the Army, and I had a great time. So
I heard that. Look, after 23 years, go ahead and take a break. Take your time figuring out what you want to do when you grow up, all right? Just
listen and taking one. And me.
Don't you rush nothing, Shakara. She said September. Hold on, has the ink even dried on that DD-214 yet, girl?
I think it's like semi-dry. Maybe at the last part of my name. My last name probably got a little ink on it. But in my mind, it's dry.
I know that's right. All right. So you retired in September 2023. And what was the rank you left the Army as?
I left as a first sergeant.
Come on. Wait.
But E8. But
an E8? Hold on. You got almost all the ranks?
I got almost all the
Shakara.
Let me tell you something. Listen. So, they changed the way obtaining sergeant major goes now, right? You have to do, it's too much. It was too much.
I heard.
I couldn't see myself giving them additional 7 years, because after you do the calculation, that's pretty much what it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it. I ain't have it, sis.
I can't say I blame you, like real talk.
Right. I ain't have it.
Look, 23, and you got out as an E8. You did real good. Real good. You were making rank like crazy.
Right.
You didn't stay in any one rank too long.
Crazy, I did. I was in staff sergeant for a minute. But I think that's because of my MOS. I was 42 Alpha, so like human resources. So, our points was never below, in my mind, 798. So
I don't know what that means, but the Army girls might know it. Y'all know what 798 means? Let me know.
The points, I'm sorry, my bad. We get points. I'm sorry, what branch? What branch service you were in?
I was in the Coast Guard, and if you laugh at that, I'm going to cut this recording short.
I'm not going to laugh.
You just got through doing it.
I'm not going to laugh, Madam Coastie. I'm not. How long? That's interesting. I had in my last job, I met a few. I worked at a MEPS. I know I'm probably passing up all the questions right now, but
no, go for it.
And I met a few. It was interesting. Even the way y'all, your promotion system and everything, I learned a lot. So no, I'm absolutely not laughing. Okay.
Our promotion system is very different.
Yes, it is.
But it's not that different from the Navy, because I think that's
right.
we really clout chase the Navy. Like we scam them for everything, our ranks, our raids, the nicknames we have for stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Even the symbols or whatever that we use to indicate rank is like a smaller version of what the Navy is. Like they're like, we're like, oh, they did a big thing. All right, let's do that same thing but smaller.
Right. So no, absolutely not laughing, because I understand it now, kind of, sort of. You know, one of my coasties were I asked a lot of questions.
Go for it.
No, absolutely not.
Look, and you said 42 Alpha. That means human resources. Look, I was a yeoman, and I know that word doesn't mean anything to you, but to the Navy and the Coast Guard, that means I also did human resources. So, look, we some HR girls, so we're going to get along. All right?
Believe it or not, my boss was a lieutenant commander. He was a Navy guy.
Okay.
To the MEPS, so it's, it's joint branches, right? So, my commander, he was Navy.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I learned about some terms, like, for an example, the head, first of all, it's a latrine, It's not what is that? So, we always, joke on each other, of course. So I actually had to go, no. Okay, all right, I'm going back to the interview. My bad.
No, look, this was perfect. This is exactly what you were supposed to do. I'm grateful. Right? No, it's funny you would say latrine, though. Here's the thing. I did tell you I was Coast Guard, but I was also in the Air Force for like 4 years. And so when I first joined the military as a wee child baby person, and it was the Air Force, we did call it a latrine. So right. I'm familiar with the verbiage.
So what? Like a head. What is that?
Right. I'm also familiar with how weird it is that every other branch calls an 03 a captain, but in the Navy and the Coast Guard, you got to be an 06 before you get called that.
Now that was an adjustment for me, because that was weird. I was like, oh wow, so you have to get all the way to 06 to be called a captain.
Right.
Right.
Whereas in the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, no.
No, hey, look, 03 captain.
Right there.
That's it.
First Sergeant Debose.
Debose, because you can call me Roxy. I'm retired now, so
First Sergeant Roxy. Thank you.
I do that now. Yeah, Roxy.
First Sergeant Roxy, were you the first woman in your family to join the military?
I was.
Get it. Come on, Trailblazer.
I was the first. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Have any other women in your family joined the military after you?
Absolutely not. No. My sister wanted to, but I think she's more of the nursing field. So, but I think it's just because I'm the oldest, right? So it's like, oh, my big sister joined the military. So, but as soon as I've gotten there, she's like, yeah, no, I'm not. Change your mind, right?
You didn't make it sound easy. That's what happened.
Right.
Now, I do know that you told me a story earlier that the Army was kind of your first choice in branch of service. And that's because you have a very funny story about going to take the ASVAB.
Listen, yes, and I told you the story, right? Mm-hmm. So first of all, I was working at Walmart in the pharmacy. So, my dream job was to be a pharmacist.
Okay.
So I was going to this school, and I'm from Louisiana, Debose.
All right. Come on, Southern girl.
So I was going to, it's called Remington College, right, to be a medical assistant. So honestly, I was kind of all over the place when I was younger. But I was in school. I was working at Walmart pharmacy, getting learning a few things from the pharmacist there. Yeah. My cousin wanted to join the military. So I was like, girl, I'll give you a ride there. I'm sitting in the hallway, and one of the, recruiters, I want to say recruiters was like, hey, while you're here, you should take it with her. Absolutely not. I'm just here to be, support. I'm not taking it. He was like, yeah, they offer pharmacy technicians in the military. What? What they do? Right? You see where this is going, right?
Yes.
What I want to do, I want to be a pharmacist. I'm sounding all corny. So, of course, I just sat down and took this test. Child, I woke up taking the test. Took the test. I scored really well. And then he was like, "Are you thinking about it?" I was like, I said, "You said pharmacy tech. That mean I can probably, move up, become an actual pharmacist at some point, spend some time in the military, get out, and I got everything done right." So what ended up happening was he was like, "Yeah, so they don't offer that for like another 3 months."
Motherfucker, what?
Right. The pharmacy tech job. And I was like, "Well, if you get me 3 months from now, baby, I ain't joining, right?" So this what he said. "Well, we do human resources." I was like, So in my mind, 19, that sounds really, really, really official. You're going to be an executive administrative assistant. We offer that. I was like, "Girl, I'm going to be making coffee and typing memos?" No. Tell me more, right? So here we are. I then joined the military and then signed up. I talked to my cousin. I'm like, "Girl, are you ready?" "Girl, I'm still waiting on my results for my test to come back." Y'all, so the funny thing is, I retired as a MEPS First Sergeant, so now I know that she clearly did not tell me the truth, right? She clearly lied to me. You're not waiting for the...
Look, if you got your results in, she sure enough should have gotten hers.
So I was like,
Roxy.
Man, now I'm brand new. Now I don't know. I'm just kind of like, all right, then. So it takes a while for some things. Okay. So after a while, I'm sitting here and I'm like, "Okay, did you get your date yet?" I'm getting all these different things. Y'all, I joined the Army by myself.
You thought you had a battle buddy.
I thought I had a battle buddy. I thought I was going to be on a travel buddy system. All the different things. It was like, hey, if you join with somebody. You can go with them, right? Y'all
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was alone. And that's crazy. That's my military story. Like, for real. Everybody's like, "Well, how did you join?" You'll be surprised at how I joined. And it, normally it's like, "Oh, because I want to go to school," right? And they offer this. No, I had no idea.
It was the right type of circumstances. It was a smooth talking recruiter who definitely lied. We can make you a pharmacy tech in 3 months. In 3 months, maybe. But like for now, do the human resources thing and like see how it goes. And also, your cousin was waiting on her results to come back.
Right. You can even switch. You don't like it. "Oh, I can switch?" Yeah, my cousin got me. I'm still waiting, girl. I was like, "Oh, wow, it takes a while." I said, "Oh, something must have happened." I'm all...
Did she even take the test?
Girl, so naive. Okay, all right.
This got to be your favorite cousin.
Yeah, and she's so me and her, we're really close, yes, but like I still give her stuff for it now. You know what I'm saying?
You give her shit? Yeah, you should.
I do give her shit. Okay, I can say that because I do.
Absolutely. Okay. Like, look, girl, if you had joined when you told me to join, we could have both been retired by now.
Right? So, yeah.
We could have had matching DD-214s, girl.
All that.
You know what? Your cousin may have hooked you up a little bit.
She put me on. At the end of the day, now I look at it, she put me on. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's what's up. Roxy, how do you feel about your time in uniform? Does any particular time period stand out to you?
Yes. So, actually 2 times, right? Mm-hmm. Honestly, when I got my Article 15s.
Oh,
hear me out.
Hold on, Article 15. Wait a minute, right? Were you a bad girl?
I was.
You're a member of the you're a member of the A15 club too, huh?
Yes, I'm a member. I think I'm not. I started out as an honorary member.
Oh, no, what? She said, "I was just getting regular write-ups at first, and then I graduated."
And I'll say that. I'm saying that for a reason, right? Because I was young. Yeah. So, when you're young, I'm fresh out of Louisiana, right? My mom was bomb, right? Growing up, her and my dad, they allowed us to be ourselves. Always talked to us about, using our voice, and on the side of right? So, I thought I can come in and doing that. Not realizing there was a way to do it. I ain't care about the way. You're going to hear what I got to say, right? So, all I know is that I'm standing on the side of right, and this is how it is. And my mom didn't teach me that. She taught me to do the right thing, say it the right way. But, at the same time, I was 19. So, I had a few instances, and then one of them, honestly, it stood out because that was the day I realized I had to grow up, man. I can't react to everything.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You was 19 years old, standing on business. It was,
19.
and looking back, it was probably very adorable.
So that stood out for me because, two things, right? And I know people laugh at it, right? We always laugh at our 815 club.
Yeah.
But, best stories, but you think about it, right? If you look at the trend art, look at it, all of us end up being like senior leaders later.
Yeah.
And able to tell that story to some, some younger soldier who think, some younger, I ain't trying to be funny, some younger black female soldier. You know how we are sometimes. We already got strikes against us anyway. So, at least I want to be a part of taking one of the strikes away. So I think that I use my 815 as a funny story and at the same time as a testimony, man, that you can still make it to where you at regardless. So I would say that's one of the times. And then another time was when I accepted a job because I was worried about what people were going to think of me when I accepted it. So, but I'm glad I did.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can say that the Article 15 was justified, like you actually earned it.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, I'm very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know I love this story. I know it's not like a hero story, but like you look, girl, you got mastered. That's what we call it. You got mastered and you deserved it. You had it coming. I'm glad you earned it. I'm glad they didn't just give it to you. I'm glad you did what it took to get it.
Recovery time, a lot of growing up, okay? So, and I was who I am today, and I was who I was when I got the Article 15. I just, I just got a little bit more rank with it, and I kind of polished it up. When I say kinda, I just stopped cussing and rolling my eyes. I still...
Roxy!
That's it. I still am who I am now. The whole time, I learned how to do it, okay?
I'm so proud of you. And you're right. Like, people who get mastered, you are so right. People who get mastered go on to do, oh my God, y'all go on to become like enlisted person of the year, enlisted person of the quarter. Y'all end up getting so many awards afterwards. It turns you around.
It does. It does. Especially if you look at it the right way. If you look at it as a growth transformation. 815s, they're supposed to transform you now once you get them, allegedly.
Look, you left after 23 years as an E8. It didn't slow you down, that's for damn sure.
Absolutely. Okay.
First Sergeant Debose, respectfully request to know, how do you think your experience could have been improved?
Well, I didn't realize, nobody can teach you this, right? But I didn't realize how that could have prepped me for and I'm going to say this in the most, I can say it how I want to say it, huh?
Absolutely, and you should.
Even though I am who I am, and I'm thankful for how I was raised and, my beliefs and, prep me for the different type of people, right? I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. First of all, I'm from Louisiana, right? I grew up in the 90s, right? So
right.
I had to learn people, literally learn people. I wasn't prepared for that. And I think a lot of us, right? We come from where we come from. You be around a certain type of people all your life, and then in the military, and then you get slapped. Slapped immediately in the face with all these different people. Matter of fact, once you get on the bus, on the way, when you're getting dropped off, that my culture and what I've learned would have been tested. And what I mean by tested is, you can't. It was easy when I was growing up. We was all the same, right? We came from the same backgrounds, of course, different ways of being raised, but I can relate to everybody that I was standing around. It took me time to get to know people and to learn others. Hell, other Black women. I wasn't prepared. So, as far as my personal, what I wish I would have improved on, actually just I wish I would have known that. Somebody could have told me that. And I feel like, and I'm saying that from the space of being retired as a MEPS First Sergeant, I had the opportunity to talk to kids before they rolled up out of the MEPS. And that was one of the things, like, hey, you are who you are, and don't lose sight of that. But, be willing and ready to understand that everybody is not you. Everybody don't respond to things the way you do. Had I known that coming in, and I know that sounds probably trivial, because I think the Army or any other branch, they got it down. Oh, this is the job you're going to get. This is what you do. Nobody talks to you literally about what respect actually looks like. right?
That's not trivial. That's important. You're right. You were very young. You got in a group of people that you had never been around from different parts of the world, and they were probably very young as well. So y'all didn't really know each other. It's felt like a game, probably.
It absolutely did.
The game of learning people. It's a socialization learning experience.
And I got my first fight in base because of that. Right? Yes. You see what I'm saying?
Wait, say that one more time.
You heard it. I got my first fight because of that. So
when you say fight, you mean an argument, or you actually put hands on somebody in the Army?
I mean, throw down, fire guard, fight club, putting flashlights on fight. Do you understand me?
Hold on 1 second. I gotta laugh real hard. Girl, your little country ass went to the Army swinging.
Listen.
I'm done. Shakara, I'm done. You said y'all ain't gonna talk to me to cut a goddamn whack.
Right, like I just...
That's why your little ass got A15.
Listen, and you know what? That wasn't even what I got.
Yo, are you serious?
I'm so serious. I told you it was Fight Club Fire Guard night. Like, you know, at night when you got Fire Guard and you try not to get caught.
Don't say that like that's a normal thing. No, I don't know.
Okay, well, for all my drill sergeants out there in the Army, do not beat me up for this. But yeah, like at
ain't
night,
nobody finna fight you, girl.
So,
we not finna catch you outside.
Outside, y'all. Listen. But yeah, like, you know, and then what's crazy is, you know, it's like the little small comments. Oh, you from the country, from Louisiana, you know, the whole East Coast, West Coast thing. You know, and first of all, I don't have no sets, man. My mom ain't play that. Okay?
Right.
My mom ain't play that. So all I did, I just, you know, so it was an argument. You know what's funny, though? We're friends.
Shut up.
Nope.
What?
No, friends. Hey, right now. Ain't that crazy?
Yes, and also congratulations. That also just means that y'all were just very much just kids being childish.
Exactly, right? So I think even though that's not the main goal of people joining the military, you know, it's a numbers game, right? You got to get the people in, tell them what you got to tell them to get them on in there so you can meet your quota.
Right.
Which now for some recruiters out there, that's absolutely not the case. Some people actually take their job serious and do what they're supposed to do, and, you know, actually tell the truth and get people in. But, you know, some of them out there, they don't. So, you know, they out there just, hey, you in there, hey, figure it out once you get in there. No, I don't want to figure it out. Please tell me. Right. Help me.
Help
you know
me.
That's what I would say for me. And I know that sounds trivial, because I think the Army and any other branch, once you're in, you're in. I mean, you're going to have to learn their stuff, whether you want to or not, because you joined. Right?
That's correct.
So I think it's the stuff that we don't talk about. It's the things that I wish would have been told before I joined. So.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. That is not trivial. That's important.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you for that belly laugh. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so glad y'all friends now, though.
Yeah.
Look, because I'm thinking over my Coast Guard career, am I friends with anybody that? Absolutely not. Because,
right.
But also, I joined as a very big adult. Like, I was like 28 or 29. So, so if I don't like you at 28 or 29, don't catch me on the street now, because I'm a civilian. I'll fuck you up.
Right.
If you messed with me in my late 20s because you thought you could get away with it because I was new to the Coast Guard, I'll break your fucking ankles now.
Absolutely. And baby, take them with me. Take the ankles with me.
Both of them. You don't deserve ankles. Give them here.
Right.
Hey, Roxy. Tell me about a time when you experienced something, either good or bad, that you know to be unique to you because you are a Black woman.
I would say, so I told you I had a commander, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this last job that I had, I was so pretty much, as a MEPS First Sergeant, like for the Pacific Northwest, I had, for Seattle. So I had, Spokane, Portland, Hawaii, and Alaska.
That's a really big AOR.
Yeah, it is. And we travel a lot to a lot of those places. And as the senior advisor, there's other first sergeants in each of those positions. So it was 5 of us total. But I was like the battalion senior listed advisor. So I had the battalion senior listed advisor role, and I was the first sergeant for Seattle, right? So it was like dual headed.
Right on. You
right? So
the big boss in charge.
Right. But at the same time, I'm a realist, right? Mm-hmm. And in the Army, and I always tell people this, and there's no such thing as a senior first sergeant. Show it to me, right? Everybody. So I did my part as a battalion seat, but me and my battle buddies, my battle buddies ran their MEPS, and we called it a day. But my boss, right, was very, I don't like being categorized or being the token, first of all, black woman, or being labeled as your bulldog, because I'm the token black woman who possibly have anger issues, and I don't care. But at the same time, I don't like being ate the hell up either.
I know that's right. That's right.
So there was a lot of times I didn't really give you examples because it was so many times where I've had to make decisions without him because he didn't either listen to what I was saying, or he act like or he agreed with me in my face, and of course behind my back he disagreed, of course. So we had like a really, really broken dynamic already. That's what it felt like to me.
Was this a white guy?
He was not white.
But not black?
Yes.
Okay.
He was not white, but he wasn't black at all. And I struggled because this was my first time. Well, I've had many jobs where I've had the platform to make an impact, but this footprint was just as large, right? So, and then I had a mixture. It was civilians and soldiers, like I told you, sailors, Coast Guard, Navy. I had every branch of service with me. Mm-hmm. Everybody. So a lot of decisions that were made affected all of them, or their morale, the esprit de corps, like things that mattered. He didn't really too much to give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? So
he was just collecting a check.
Pretty much, Or the things that he overthought about, it wasn't important. Like it just wasn't important. Like nobody even care about that. But you're talking about nobody cares about that. But we're over here, right? So there were times that I made decisions without him. There were times that I got flack for it. But again, I didn't get fired, right? Who's gonna check me? Who gonna check me, boo? Him. So I would say that was unique to me because of a black woman. I guess to circle back to the question was, I made decisions. Mm-hmm. And I had to step outside of myself because I knew, like he never said straight up that, first of all, I don't respect women's opinions. That never came out of his mouth. And then 2, I have this stigma that I think about black women already. That never came out of his mouth, but he showed it every chance he can get.
They'll never say it, they'll just show it.
Without saying words. Understand that and move accordingly without falling into the trap of showing him that's exactly who I wanted to be in those moments with him. But I wasn't going to give him that. So I do believe that sometimes we fall into a space where we have to consistently beat out or prove everybody wrong with the alleged stereotype of us being angry black women, because we are very direct, to the point, and we are no nonsense, and that comes off as angry. Now, in some situations, whatever helps you sleep at night. In that moment, for where I was sitting in the role I played, I had to kind of step outside of that and show him something different, because I think he waited for it for 2 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
Right. It was a long time for me to hold myself, to hold my peace. Now, I did what I had to do. I spoke to my sergeant major, my mentors at the time, like my boss, right, to kind of, help guide me and keep me, from, coming off that ledge, right? So I had to make some phone calls. I called friends. I phoned a lot of friends. Do you understand me? So to be in that space, prayer, praying, because my faith is important, right?
Right.
All of that. But, and it took a lot of prayer for that. So I would say unique to me for being a black woman is because I had to step outside of what the stereotype and show him something different while still making decisions and moving our unit along. Because, like I said, I don't think he cared about us being ate the hell up. And then, like he always tell me, right, you know, I don't know how to take you. I don't know. When we have our sessions where he wants to call himself counseling me and mentoring me. First of all, you ain't my mentor.
Right.
Did I do my job? Did I do it well? And please put it on my eval. That's it.
Right.
I don't want to talk. I ain't got no talking, right? But he said to me, you know, I don't know how to take you as I am.
Right.
That's it. Take me as I am. Because that's all you're going to get. You're going to get me. I mean, you're not going to get nobody else. So I didn't get this far being somebody different, and I didn't get this far stepping on, you know, like I always tell people, stepping over bodies to get to where I need to go. That means, you know, stabbing my friends in the back, you know, taking the easier jobs, or, you know, not letting my girl to my left or right get that job. Like, you know, I didn't step over bodies to get here.
Good.
Right? So. Also,
that doesn't even feel like your personality. Like, you wouldn't
have. Thanks.
Like, you would have never did that shit anyways.
Absolutely not. So, you understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, no, for me, I hated that. I hate that stereotype. I think that was my biggest pet peeve throughout my time in the military. Right, so.
That's understandable. Also, I don't know how to take you is a very coward thing to say. And also, right? It also should not be said, I don't know how to, you're a fucking leader. Like,
got something to say? Ask me.
Right.
Okay. I mean, do I look like or sound like somebody who would give you a beat around the bush answer? I don't.
Right.
I don't.
Oh, he didn't know how to take honesty? That's his own fault. First Sergeant Debose.
Girl, I'm here.
I know. When you brought complaints to your chain of command, do you feel that you were heard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because all my complaints, I've always said this, and this has been my mantra for a long time. They either have some substance now. There are some things that you just have no control over, and you getting yourself all wound up behind it is just you're the only person that's gonna be sick at night or losing sleep once you get to your house or wherever you lay your head at night. Mm-hmm. But I've always been one to bring complaints that's of substance.
Okay.
And I'm already going to have a resolution or a recommendation attached to it.
When you say of substance, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So, I'll give you an example, right? So, like, let's say, this is small. It may be big to some. Somebody changed the date of a PT test.
Okay.
Your physical fitness test, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to run down every level of chain of command behind a date. I'm just going to go take the PT test, right?
Right.
There's just some things you just got to do, right?
Right.
But let's say that I have service members who, you know, are on some type of detail, or they are, or something. Okay, I'll say it like this: if it affects you from an equal opportunity, equal opportunity, EO, moral, anything that affects you as a person, affects us as a unit, I'm going. I'm going. That's it. I mean, or it affects us in our job.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. I've never been a general addressing leader. You're not about to have me or my soldiers in a formation where you're talking to somebody about something that someone did.
When you could just address that one person.
Right. That's number one. I don't play that. Figure it out. I know some people are like, well, you know, you got to be professional when you're addressing it. Depends on, you know, where you're at in the level of leadership. I mean, yeah, all right.
Right. So professionally address them one-on-one. Don't bring us all into it.
And when I say substance meaning that it changes for the better for everybody.
Okay.
I used to have these chats when I was in one of the units I was in over time. I used to have sister circles. That's what I used to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And for some odd reason, something always was happening during my sister circle time.
And when you say sister circles, you mean like other lady veterans or other black lady veterans?
Other black lady veterans.
Get it? You had a sister circle. That was real sisters.
Right. And something always happened, or something always came up, some kind of detail or some type of something. Yeah, absolutely not. Guess what I did?
What?
Went and told, hey, I'm ready. Hey, why every time I got this approved because I did my same proposal, wrote it up because I felt we needed it. And you told me, yes, I can do that. Yeah, you can go ahead and have that at this time. But, if something comes up, something that's, something that's important that we all got to be at, I got it. But why every time I look around, we have multiple, or we got something to do really quick. Oh, I know you had your thing going on, but there's a meeting at this time. No, it's not. It's not a meeting at this time. Nah, it's not. And that was my battle to fight, which I was okay with. I was okay with falling on the sword for that. So I brought it up to where I needed to go, to the chain of command, and then it was a discussion that was had, and then we came to a resolution. My recommendation was, hey, we have a training calendar. We have all these meetings. We go to 1,000 meetings, of a meeting to plan all this stuff for the meeting, 30, 60, 90s, long range, short range calendars. Why, for my little session I want to have is only 30 minutes, that we can't use those calendars to continue to plan with our events? I'm in all these meetings with you. I'll wait. I mean, you could have talked to me about that while we were sitting there. But you going to wait today? Nah, don't worry about it, Kat. So, of course, I have to, compromise. Because some stuff is what it is, right? You do your job. You got to go through some things, and I got it. But every time, no. So my answer to you is yes. When there are things that I feel that are I felt that were a substance that need to be heard, I went with the information and what my resolution was for it to be fixed. Now, there are some times where there were things that were just absolutely, out of my control. Like literal, like you can read it like somewhere on paper. Like when I say out of my control for me, I absolutely can't do nothing about it.
Okay.
And then, like I was saying, and I said earlier too, I like to plant seeds. So even if I'm not the one that'll get it fixed, I plant enough seeds around where there's enough women, Black women specifically, and I keep saying I have a reason for that. Good. I mean, I love everybody, but however, just like anyone, you know how you always mad. You see your friend out in the streets and their hair not combed, girl, you better go brush your hair. Right? Like that's my feeling about us in the military. I look at us and be like, we are not about to be those women, right? So if I'm seeds, I'm planting them for the people behind me, or I'm planting it for the person beside me, or the person in front of me, right? So somebody is going to get it fixed along the way at some point. But if I'm part of that change, no matter what level I'm at, or where I'm at in the change, or what spot I'm in the change, I'm going to be a part of it. So I like planting seeds.
I know that's right. You better make life easier for another sister.
Another sister, right?
I love it.
And then maybe she can get, because sometimes it's the messenger. Maybe I wasn't the right messenger for that message.
Right on. Yeah. Oh. That doesn't mean the message will never get across.
Facts.
First Sergeant Debose, at the beginning of your career, when you needed guidance and mentorship, were those resources provided, or did you have to seek them out?
At the beginning, earlier on in my career, the Army got a little bit better with the mentorship programs and all the different platforms that you can use. But in the beginning of my career, I feel like you had to seek them out.
And did you even know to seek out mentorship in the beginning of your career?
I did not.
See, of course, because you were a 19-year-old kid. Yeah. Right.
So I would say probably after and I keep referencing back to my Article 15, so don't judge me. After my third one.
Hold on. There was 3 of them?
Yeah, it was.
Shakara, you ain't said all that now. Oh my God. Girl.
Listen.
You are the most decorated soldier.
Listen.
Is this why you and Rhonda friends? Because she seems like trouble too.
You know what's crazy? That's probably why we're friends, right?
My goodness. Did you say 3? Girl, calm down, Roxy. Damn.
After my third one, the first sergeant pulled me in the office, and we was a company grade, which was kind of cool, right? I think it was like the 77. It wasn't even the long one. I didn't even get like 14 days. And the reason why, it was more of an argument one. Like I got into it. Like I talked back to a senior leader because I was right about what I was saying. I was so right.
Okay.
But I used a lot. But my vocabulary was very limited back then. Right.
Okay.
When I say limited as in I probably knew the right words, but I chose, fuck. You motherfucker shit. That's some bullshit. Like I used all of. So when I say limited vocabulary, that's exactly what I meant. I did not seek the Lord in my delivery for some of those situations, right? So So I wasn't right. I wasn't wrong about what I was saying. So he called me in office. And of course, I got my Article 15. So I'm in there. And, back in the day, you had to pull your rank off. It's a lot of work. You had to take the damage from off of it. You had to take it out your sleeve, out your collar. I had to do all this work. Now you can just rip it off and just throw it there, unless you got it sewn on.
Right.
But back then, off the damage, and so I'm taking everything off. I'm sitting there pulling it. I need you to imagine me pulling my collar right now and taking off all the rank and girl, when I say rank, E4 specialist. So I'm taking off my little air balloon.
Hold on, right? Shakara, you got you got Article 15 3 times before you made E5?
Absolutely. Don't you judge me.
It's too late. You are, hold on, how far are we into? You're about 20 minutes too late, Roxy. You can call me Judy from now on because I'm judging the hell out of you.
Right. So I took my rank and I threw it. If this is what the Army is about, I don't want to be in it. I'm doing all this stuff, right? And he was looking at me be all emotional, right? I'm all like emotional, angry. I can do better than this. I'm thinking I'm about to save the world. And he was like, you know what? Look at all that passion that's going nowhere. I had to swallow my pride for 2.5 seconds. Wait a minute. Excuse me, sir? It's not going anywhere. Do you hear me right now? Do you hear what I'm saying? And that's when he looked at me. He said, in order for you to be the change you want to see, don't change who you are, but change your approach.
Okay. So
he was my first mentor, so to speak, right? Or my first idea of, you know what? Somebody's been doing this longer than me. Let me start seeking out, first of all, people that look like me, especially women, right? You can get mentorship from. Like I said, God put people in places, black, white, Asian, pick it. They put people in place for a reason. However, at that time, besides having my mama, who I talked to about all the things, right? My mom all the way in Louisiana, I want her to come save me from everything. And I felt good, right? It's my mama called my mama, right? Her and my dad, right? I called them all the time. And, my mom was always like, and she was the same way, telling me, I could figure out how to say it. Because my mom has this gift, man. She's very good with giving advice to people. And she always attributed to God. And I felt like I always had that in me. But it wasn't polished. And everybody don't, take kind to people telling them straightforward without having some sense, right? While they're having this discussion. Yeah. So, in the beginning, I did seek out a few of my sister leaders.
Good.
It was funny. A few of them sometimes, gave me a hard time, right? Or, they didn't really, it really wasn't there for me, right? Because I don't know if it was they were in their own head trying to, be the best they can be with the limited amount of resources that we've had during that time. So, that's what I equated it to. But of course, my seeking out absolutely started with us.
Good.
So
I hope the reason that those sisters did not take an active role in mentoring you, I hope it's because they were in their own head. I hope it wasn't anything in their heart. I hope it was something just within. Yeah.
I think it was the timing, right? The timing and the time that we were in. Like now, and then honestly, you're not really taught. I mean, and some people aren't really good mentors.
Right.
Right. And it's probably nerve-wracking for somebody to come to you and be like, hey, can you mentor me and guide me through this because you've been here before, especially if you ain't do the work yourself. So
right.
That's what I equated to, honestly. Seriously.
Okay.
But I stayed seeking them out, and, I became one.
Good.
Yeah.
You became the change you wanted to see.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love it. Well, have you been able to make friends with other Black lady veterans? Are you purposeful about building your village? I think I know a small answer to that. We already called one of them's name out.
Absolutely.
Good.
I believe in the village, right?
Amen.
Regardless, and I've said sometimes, you only in specific villages for a season, but I think you got to build villages everywhere you go. Even when you leave it, you build it strong enough and have a strong enough foundation so you can leave it there for others to continue to carry it on.
I heard that.
So my village stretches far and wide. I have people I'm still friends with and talk to and see after being in the military with them for almost at least between 19 to 20 years. And distance and time haven't stopped that. Now, I will tell you, what I mean by time, sometimes we fall off because life's life. But when you can pick up and talk to them as if you just talked to them yesterday, first of all, I'm not a friend hoarder. How people be like, nobody reaches out to me. I'm not that friend. I text you and, you come up some air and reach back out to me and tell me that you're alive.
Heck yeah.
But when you stop, you better call me, right? Kind of thing. But, yes, I do believe that. And I believe that that's what has made today's Army, honestly, I think, stronger with our Black females, along with a lot of other few things. But I do believe that village, starting early on to now, has definitely made that, bridge that gap and made that gap a lot smaller. So no, yeah, absolutely.
Good. Roxy, tell me a war story. A story where you were, did you laugh immediately?
I mean,
you know what? I'm keeping that in because, no, because I've laughed at you enough. I deserve a little laughter coming towards me at this point in the interview. I get it. It's cool. A war story. A story where you were tested but came out on top. Be the hero in your story. I swear to God, if it's one of these 815 stories.
It's not.
Okay.
Proud of me. You'll be so proud.
I was proud of the Article 15 stories, honestly, Roxy. You are now my hero. I love you, all right? Look, you got 3 as an E4 and still left as an E8 after 23 years. I am highly impressed. I love this story. I love every bit of it.
I told you, you got to grow through it, man. Sometimes you got to grow through it. Not go through it, grow through it.
I heard that.
So it's like a war story, but not really.
Okay.
Throughout my career, I was tested a lot. And, clearly my personality, everything tested. You sounded like you were trying to get with me. You have to take those deep yoga breaths, look up in the air before you answer somebody. All of those different things. But I will be honest, and I think, later on you probably want to talk about it. I know you're going to probably talk about it later, but I attribute my time in the military to, my family, God, and everybody. Like, the support was crazy. But this moment here, there was a position that came up in the military. Well, it came up, it's been around, but it came up for my specific job, my job, the 42 Alpha Resources. Mm-hmm. It was called, it was a fellowship program.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, just 1 second. So under the Human Resources Program, there's a lot of things you can do in HR in the Army, right? Like you can,
absolutely.
Yes. So there's like different jobs that just fall under 42 Alpha. So like you were already holding one job down, but there was like another like section that has nothing to do with the job that you were holding down that you could do and also still be considered a 42 Alpha, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This was I'm sorry. Yes. It was one of those so they call them broadening assignment, right? Like something outside of, so pretty much like, you're right, a broadening assignment, right?
Okay.
So it was a fellowship program, and it was called Training with Industry, TWI.
Okay.
That specific broadening assignment, your officers been doing it for a minute. Mm-hmm. Officers have had that opportunity to broaden their business acumen and their time in the military at the same time. Unfortunately, for us, sometimes that wasn't the case. And I say us, I mean enlisted. However, there was an opportunity that came up for it. It was to be an HR generalist at a large corporation in Maryland. I was concerned because I didn't think I was qualified for the job.
You're probably overqualified.
I didn't think so, right? I mean, me. So the HR manager, the lady the person who was in charge, who actually ran the paperwork and did everything, sent everything out to everyone. Mm-hmm. She was a sister. She was a Black lady.
Okay.
And she said to me, she called me, she said, I see that you haven't responded to my email. So first of all, the reason why I didn't respond to email, and maybe all of the branch can testify to this, but in the Army, you get these blanket emails that said, we looked at your prerequisite and you qualified for this position or this job or whatever. So I was like, maybe everybody got this email. I put the email in my little trash and deleted it. Because I'm like, this had nothing to do with me, right? I'm pretty sure everybody got the email. But she wrote me personally a week later.
Okay.
I said, that was actually like for me, like the email for me. Of course she laughed, right? And I was honest, I was transparent. I was like, look, and I think transparency is everything. When you're transparent and you don't know what you don't know, or you know what you know, I mean, you just, I think that you're a lot more successful in that. So I was transparent with her, and I was like, look, I'm looking at this stuff. I don't think I qualify for this. And she said to me, don't you ever underestimate yourself.
Come on.
In this organization meaning the Army, you work as hard to get where you are. Mm-hmm. This will only elevate you. That she said.
I know that's right.
So I called my mom, my husband. I didn't call, I told you, I called the village, the lifeline. And my mom, like, girl, if you don't apply for this,
right.
My mom.
She was trying to talk sense into you, Shakara.
Right. And my husband, like, are you serious right now? This is the opportunity, right? You know, of course, it was a few people like, well, if you take this job, you know, your chance for sergeant major might not, you know, it may, because, you know, some assignments, you know, honestly, it'll take you off track with your track for promotion or your track for being considered for certain jobs, right?
Right.
So I got both sides. People was like, yeah, it will, or no, it won't. But then at the end of the day, I knew I was retiring soon, right? I knew at some point I was going to retire.
Right.
So I took the route of I'm gonna need this later. So not only did I apply,
okay,
I got accepted.
Get it.
Right?
Get it.
And then I was the first senior NCO and the first black female to get that job. Come on. Right? So.
And this black lady had to push you into even applying.
Yeah. She did. She did. My mom, my husband. Everybody. My friend. Everybody.
This sister's a part of your village. Do y'all keep in touch?
Yes, everybody. Right? Because I was worried about, because at one point I wanted to become a sergeant major because I felt, actually, I'm lying. I'm lying on this podcast right now. I wanted to be a first sergeant. That was my first sergeant of a MEPS. Actually, that's what I told my mom when I found. I was like, I want to be a first sergeant of MEPS, and God did exactly what I asked, right? Nice. But then you look kind of nice too, right? So, but it was okay, So once I look at the bigger picture, I realized that, hey, I'm gonna need this when I retire, and my business acumen needs to be on point because HR in the military and HR in the Army or any military service, sometimes it translates over and sometimes it doesn't. Right. Yeah. So I call it a war story because I was warned within myself, and sometimes, we get into the habit of saying, well, I was just doing my job. I'm in the military. I was just doing my job. Mm-hmm. I had to step outside of that and realize that I'm more than my job. Come on. That's my story, girl. No, I love it. And you really did come out the winner. All right? Yeah. You were the first black woman in this position. You better get it. Yes. Yes. Hey, did that lady that called you, she didn't even know you were actually, no, I take that back. She absolutely knew you were a sister. Yeah, look at my name, man. I was about to say, she probably saw that name. Yeah. My bad. Shakara. I didn't mean to insinuate that you had a... very ethnic. You have a very melanated name. It's very my mom was like, oh, yes, baby. And it means to dance. Well, Kara means to dance. But the sh, I guess, adds a little pizzazz to it. Yeah, a little razzle-dazzle. With razzle-dazzle. Dance and well, yes. Dazzle. My girl Rhonda. All right. Do you feel that the way you were treated improved with rank? Yes. Okay. I know. Just yes. Okay. We want to say no, right? Because that's the desire. Like no matter what level you at, the respect is different. It's the same, and people look at you for who you are. That's the dream. That breathes well. It does, right? I would argue that that's the dream if you are anybody but a black woman. Like if I'm still getting treated the same like the whole way, right? Y'all racist. Right. However, if I was a white dude, I'd probably be getting respected the entire time, and that's just based on the fact that I'm a white man, and I might possibly have a great personality. So in that case, the treatment should stay the same. Good. That's why I said the dream, right? That's the thought. Right. I do believe that the more I grew in the military rank-wise, yes. And I say that because I never lost my sense of self. Like, no matter what was going on, you wasn't going to change me. Okay. Right? You wasn't going to change me. If it was meant, whatever it is, or whatever the situation was, whatever the job, promotion, whatever it is, if it was for me, it was going to be for me. So, but as I got up in rank, absolutely. I felt like my platform was a lot larger. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. My reach was a lot wider. And in that moment, I felt like I owed my younger sisters in the service and my, and my peers, mm-hmm. and those who came before me, I owed them that to make sure that as I got a little bigger in rank, that I stayed true to myself and stayed who I was so I can be some type of impact. But I do believe that, my rank did allow me to be a part of conversations that I naturally wouldn't have been a part of if I wasn't the rank that I was. At the same time, I also believe, like I've said before, I told you my faith. I feel like God placed me in the right place at the right time with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna say there wasn't challenges, and I wasn't challenged because of the color of my skin and because of who I am as a woman, right, or a Black woman. Like the people that I was surrounded by at the time helped foster a space or an environment for me to be who I am, regardless of who was in the space. Trying to know who was my naysayer in the group or the hater in the group. Right? So my mom, my dad, they always prayed, right? They always prayed that God placed the right people at the right time in the right situation for me to be who I was supposed to be. So yes, as I grew in rank, I did have the platform. Yes, there were people, white, especially certain fields, you know, and as a 42 Alpha HR, you know this as HR, we can be in any unit.
You are meeting everybody in the Army. Right. Because everybody needs HR.
Yes, everybody. So there were certain specialties or certain jobs where that was a prominent thing, that you were a Black female in their unit. So there were challenges there.
I believe it. Do you feel like the change would have happened sooner had you been a different race and gender?
I always say I'm not sure about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with, in my younger days, so it's two-part. I'm going to say yes, because I'm not blind to the fact that that's a thing, right? That we have to work a lot harder as Black women in the military. I don't care what nobody say, that is a thing.
That's a fact.
So I'm not going to be blind to that. But I do know as I've grown, the Army at one point was very surface level with their EO program from when I joined up until now. Now, when I say surface, they didn't get into the nasty of what equal opportunity is. It was almost like a check the block equal opportunity
right
situation. They've done a good job to me improving that along the way. Of course, there's a lot of work to do still, but they're on the right path. But at the end of the day, you can't change people, regardless of how great a program it is.
Right.
People are still people. Do I believe
you can't change them when you don't enforce it?
And enforce it, exactly.
Right.
So if you're not enforcing it, there's already a few things going against you or against us, right? They came in with the beliefs that they have because that's how they were raised, background beliefs, whatever that is. So that's already strike number one.
Right.
Strike number two for us, there was already a societal stereotype and all these different stigmas that were attached to us, military or not. Then three, we joined the military. Something that is not allegedly, that's not for us. It wasn't for us.
Right. Right.
And when it was us, we was out here washing clothes and counting towels.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Quartermaster.
We were mess cooks.
We was, those things. And like I said before, and I honor all the ladies that came before us that did those things, because without them, we wouldn't even be where we're at today. We wouldn't even have the chance to even have this discussion had it not been for them.
Right.
But the truth is, that's what we were allegedly to be.
Yeah, that was the limiting factor that was given to us. You can join, but you can only be as high as an E4, and you can only work in the kitchen.
Exactly, right? So that's the real deal, Holyfield thing. Mm-hmm. So we had all that already. That's alone. So that's what I mean by surface level. Surface level means it's a lot deeper than that, but you only showing me this part, and then wanting me to eat this too and foster this to other people. Y'all lost your mind. You think I'm about to keep this at the surface level while I'm in the military. Yeah, you're not. Right?
Right. So
all these big voices and all of these different sisters in arms and all these different, and even some of our other, fellow service women, of other races, that they kind of got some buy-in on it and,
right.
Somebody had to recognize it outside of us that we need to do something different.
And it'll never be enforced when the people that are in charge of doing the enforcing kind of agree with the way things have always been.
Exactly.
There has to be a forced change. And I'm not talking hearts and minds. You change what's right. You do the physical part first and worry about those hearts and minds later.
Absolutely. So do I think it would have been improved and happened sooner? Absolutely. mean, it did a lot of work. It was a lot of work. A lot of these, that, like I said, came before me, did a lot of work. And you know, and of course, as time go on and changes happen, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
Like now, you know, these younger generations of Black soldiers or women, that voice is big. Now, I will say this. It's big, but sometimes it's a little, it brings me back to my 19-year-old days. You know, we didn't work this hard for y'all to be up here cutting up, okay? And I'm pretty sure somebody said that to me, right? With the ones that came before me. So, but no, I do believe that it had happened so that it'd be a lot different. But I think that the Army or the military, I mean, all the branches are on the right path because somebody said, you know what? This is really happening, and it's deeper than this surface level check the block bullshit that we've been doing for the last hundreds of years, right?
Right. All right. Has there ever been a tough situation you were in where another sister helped you out, or a situation where you were able to help out another sister?
Yes.
Yay! Come on.
Yes. And I talk about this one every time because this one, like you could always give good advice. I think all help is great help. Advice, especially when the person listens. Oh, when they're listening, it works out. Lord, thank you, right? But this one for me was literal. All of them are literal, but this one was like, man, like, God, you really put me here for this moment, right? She was in a position, one of my friends in a position or in a unit where she literally was not excelling. She got mediocre evaluations, counseling, really no guidance or no expectations in that job. However, when she got her evals and everything back, she wasn't allegedly meeting the mark.
Okay.
But the person prior to her, you know, she was of the creamier nature.
She was heavily of European descent.
Right? Heavily of European descent.
Heavily unmelanated.
Absolutely. Excelled. I mean, the job was easy. She gave a great transition, you know, brief to her. So in her mind, right, I got this job. It's going to be easy. I'm going to do the same thing, probably improve the position a little bit more because I have time, right? Because, you know, the position, the expectation is for it to improve or for it to be better than how you left it or more. So she thought she was doing that. Yeah, no. Mediocre. Evals, she called me, and I was in the right place at the right time where I was able to make phone calls and, you know, have discussions with people. And I said, you need a new job.
Okay.
How about that? How about you need a new job? A position where you're going to excel, right?
Okay. Where
you're going to do good. An assignment, something that you've never done. So she ended up getting a job. She worked in the readiness and I think it was policies and the 2 R's. Lord, forgive me. Okay, the point is she got a better job. Okay? Got a better job.
Is this human resources?
Human resources as well.
All right.
But what's funny, she was not human resources.
Oh, okay.
She was in a different field altogether. Huh. So she ended up doing a whole other job. This job did a few things for her. First of all, she learned something new in the position. She was able to work on her actual dream, which is nursing.
Okay.
And now she's, I think, retired. Yeah, she retired. No, she didn't retire. She medically retired, and now she's on her way to being about to be a nurse.
Nice.
Now out of the military. She did a few things. She added a few things to her resume. She ended up getting promoted.
Nice.
She ended up not staying in. So.
Wait, she got promoted. That must mean she got some good evals after that.
Yes, she did.
All right.
So the military, like I said before, it could be tough on us, you know. But as sisters in arms, you know, for me, I'm gonna do my damnedest. Especially I'm in a position to help you. Oh, I'm helping you.
I know that's right.
It is what it is. I mean, I'm helping you.
You stepped in. You helped out a little sister who was. Yep. It seems like she was having a very hard time.
Very hard time. Stressed at work every day. Her health, her mental, everything was affected. Child, but we're not doing that. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. Come on. She's so her there and everything. Don't care.
So you became the mentor that you never had.
If that's right. And I'll challenge anybody, you know, military, outside the military, if you're in a position or you know people in a position where you can effectively help somebody, do it, especially if it's a sister.
I know that's right.
Okay.
I know that's right. All right. Tell me something you wish you had known before joining the service.
I'm childish. Let's start off with before I answer this question. And you know what's funny? And maybe not. Maybe when you hear the answer, you're going to be like, girl, that's not childish. That my hair would be an issue.
Come on.
My hair. I don't know. I mean, clearly right now, you know, the army has evolved. You got people with locks, we got people with beards, all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's in recent times. But when you joined,
Recently,
in the year of 2000, nah, locks,
right.
certain types of braids weren't even allowed.
It had to be plastic. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, listen. And I want you to imagine this. Braids, but they must be on the head. You know how they look? Baby, I was not trying to look like Set It Off my entire career. That was not the plan. That was not the plan.
You said you were, so you wasn't no Queen Latifah? Jeez, that was actually a very noble role in that movie.
She played the hell out of that part, and she was good doing it. I didn't want to look like that every day, though. She got to take it off and be easy breezy beautiful cover girl when she was done.
Literally, she was a cover girl.
Right? She got to be easy breezy after that. I didn't want that. I didn't want that for me. Right? Nobody told me that. And I was a 27-piecer, the tracks, the sewing in the corn, the braids with the bobby pin when you didn't have a needle. I was that chick growing up.
Come on, you was doing it up.
I was doing it up. You gonna tell me now I can't do none of that? So like as I told you, it was so childish, right?
No, I remember the era. You said you joined in the year 2000. We were still doing 90s updos back then.
Updos and stuff, right? With
yeah.
The corn, I mean the fadeaways, your bang coming out
yes.
down your head.
Yes.
Telling me that go past my eyebrow. What we doing right now? Like what?
Look, we was all walking around here trying to look like Destiny's Child and Monica. Like, I know.
And then my European, you know, friends, I guess we want to call
counterparts
had bobs and, you know, asymmetrical bobs and all these different things and platinum blonde hair because clearly they came out their mama that way with this platinum blonde hair, right?
Yes.
Platinum, right? So I will say that. I said I'm childish because it's hair, but you know.
No, that's not childish. It's exhausting to have to wake up and go to work, and one of your concerns is my boss going to get onto me because of my hair? That's exhausting because nobody else has to worry about that. Just black people, and specifically black women in the military. That's not even a part of your job. Your job is to be a 42 Alpha doing paperwork. Your job is not to worry about how your hair looks. It looked fine when you left the house. It has nothing to do with your job. It should not be a concern of anybody's once you get to work.
Listen. And the other thing is, like, even from a deeper perspective, who are you to tell me that my afro is nappy or unkept? Who are you? Now, don't get me wrong. Let me go ahead. I'm going to say this for that public service announcement out right quick. There was some of us that absolutely probably was the reason why there was stuff in our regulation. Let me go ahead and put that out. There was some of us out there towing the line. There was some of us out there, and you stare at them, you're like, this is the reason why I'm fighting for my life right now. Go ahead and put that announcement out now. I'm going to be an adult about this situation. Now, there was some of us out there that...
This is why the regulations are that I have to look like I'm about to rob a bank. You.
Right. Because of you, right? But I will, it's deeper than that, right? You know, like, who are you to tell me that locks are faddish? Who are you to tell me that my natural hair could be considered faddish? Who are you to tell me those things? It's like, you don't even have my hair. Some of y'all that's writing this don't even have hair.
Right.
Not even,
some of y'all are bald men of a different race that have no business in my head in the first place.
Telling me hair should look. No business, right?
Right.
So, and I know, and I say childish, right? Because there's a lot more bigger issues in the military, right?
That's not childish, Shakara. That's not childish.
Right. But for me as a black woman, right, you know, our hair, we're so dynamic, and our charisma, and we wake up in the morning, we can be anybody who we want to be individually, right? But then something about your hair does something to you. And we grew up that way, right? You seen your mom and your grandmother, all these different eras of how to look. And, you know, we already had to present ourselves a certain way to even allegedly fit in. So now you're telling me that not only are you telling me how to fit in, you're telling me that my history doesn't matter. You're telling me that my locks and where that came from. There are people who cut their hair to join. There are people who move their braids. There are people who then burnt their hair out trying to have it laid flat to their head just to be a part of something that wasn't really for them in the first place. Right. So
going through unhealthy measures trying to fit a standard that wasn't written for them.
That was never for them. All the way down to even to the weight standard. Baby, that chart for the weight standard was for your 1950s or 60s Unmelanated woman. You understand me? Who out here in these streets is 5'4" and 148 pounds? That's a sister who got, first of all, my booty 148 pounds.
Wow, Shakara.
I'm just playing. It's not. But my point is,
way to flex, all right?
I'm just saying, like
Look, I know you've never seen a picture of me, but I am now offended.
I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, right? The majority of us, and I promise my booty's not 148 pounds, but I'm saying
my whole body's not 148 pounds. I'm offended from this whole statement, Shakara.
Right, listen. Right now, I am a nice 79 pounds soaking wet. Do you understand me? 79 pounds, that's soaking wet.
Get
now,
it.
Imagine when so I'm telling you, like, so it's all the way down to that. I mean, that chart has nothing to do with hips. If I'm talking about hips in there.
You are correct.
We had stuff against us from the beginning. Like, it's too much. So had I known that.
Yeah, and the thing is, your weight and your body measurements don't necessarily reflect your physical capabilities.
Absolutely.
Like, you can still do the push-ups, you can still do the sit-ups, you can still do the run, and better than someone smaller than you in many cases. So those measurements didn't mean anything. They were arbitrary.
And I mean, meant to who they meant something to. Because I mean, child boo, okay?
Right.
So yeah, okay, I done got off my little, I'm off my little soapbox, all right?
Look, to all the small people out there, she didn't mean it how it sounded, y'all.
No, I didn't. So let me, I'm gonna say this.
If you've never been a voluptuous person like myself, and you've always been jealous of voluptuous ladies like herself, she didn't mean it the way it sounded.
No, listen. And there's a funny story. I was not voluptuous when I was joined. I had to gain weight. I had to drink Ensure and all that to join the military. I was 98 pounds.
What?
I was 113 pounds when I joined.
Girl.
And I was that 138, 140, 5'4" chick for a long time until I got old. And my metabolism was like, baby, we've both been in this army together. So I am now a whopping 179, almost 180 pounds. So I was her. I was the jealous girl in the military. I was. Mm-hmm. I think I made up for it, right? I made up for it.
You absolutely made up for it. All right, my bad. Roxy was one of us, y'all.
I was one of y'all. I was the friend that everybody rolled their eyes at during the height and weight, okay? I was. And then I started rolling my eyes later on, okay? I know what it feels like. Okay?
I heard that. You know what, Roxy? You all right.
Thank you so much.
For sure. Roxy, can you tell me about a time where you learned a lesson that you weren't ready to learn?
Yes, that everybody's not as passionate as me, right?
Right.
And I'm right on this platform. There was times where I wanted my sisters in arms to be mad with me.
I get that passion. No, Roxy, I get it. I understand. Sometimes you get up in arms about a subject and you want somebody to also like understand where you're coming from, especially if they look like you. So when they stay calm, it's like enraging. Right.
And if it referred to us and if it affected us,
yeah.
Why aren't you mad with me? Right. And the hard lesson in that was because everybody's not mad. And I have a thing about, I'll give you an example. You know how you don't like seeing when you out in the streets and you see the nice dressed black woman.
Yeah.
But then you see her kids and they look nothing like her. Right? That's how I felt about situations in the military. I don't want my younger sisters to work hard or to have to think hard when I thought hard already.
Right.
And I wanted some of my peers or some of my homegirls or, I call everybody my homegirl, especially when it's military, right? I mean, I know everybody's not my friend, but when we from sister to sister, like all of us, we, if we all had the homegirl mentality, professionally.
Yeah.
Our younger homegirls would have to work as hard. I do believe in allowing people to be in a space when they don't listen and they fail and they learn from it. But I'm not one to stand by, especially my sisters, to watch you fail because I feel some kind of way about you. Mm-hmm. Or I'm not no longer in that situation. I've grown beyond that. but you was there. You were there. So the hard lesson was that everybody doesn't care as much as I think that they should. And that, you know, in the promotion system, I've watched our own step on each other to get there. I don't feel like you have to do all of that.
Right, you don't. You really don't.
It's the system. And that's also a subjective system. So you're fighting with your own sister behind something that's already subjective.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Subjective. I mean, when they see your name, they already know you're black. I mean, so strike one, right? So why am I about to fight with you? Girl, how we gonna do this together? And then may the best woman win based on that subjective thing that somebody else is looking at. That has nothing to do with me and you. So why am I competing against you?
Right.
When we don't even know what they're looking at in the first place.
Right.
So that was my hard lesson, right? Like, why am I competing with you, sis? Help me. How did you get there?
Right.
Because it's already subjective.
And if you get up before I do, help me get up too. Because if I get up first, I'm gonna help you get up.
Right. So I'm helping. If my sis looks like she gonna get it more than me, because I'm looking at her evals, I'm looking at her career path, and baby, you didn't hit these positions that I know I ain't hit. First of all, congratulations.
Right.
And then when you get there, girl, come back and let me know.
Right.
If we did, and that was a consistent cycle, sometimes we're not gonna get it right all the time. Because you know why? Again, I just said it. It was subjective. Somebody else came up with the rules already. We're not even a part of the rules. We're not a part of the point system, right?
You're right.
So, and the points change every time you look around. Like, the point system changes every time. Because it's based on need. It's based on, believe it or not, quota. And what they're looking for at the time. And we don't know what that is if we're not in it. So why am I about to fight you and step on you when I'm not even aware of what that is? Even if I think I know, I don't know. So.
You sure right.
Thank you.
First Sergeant Debose.
I'm here, girl. Still here, rocking and rolling.
Do you feel that you are a better leader than the ones you grew up under?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, yes.
Absolutely.
Not all of them. But some of them, oh my goodness. After growing through what I've grown through, that's what I call it when I say going through. Growing through what I've grown through, I'd be asking God, but God bless everybody. He has no respect to person. Everybody can get those blessings, right? But I do have days where I'm like, man, how did they get here? Probably some unconventional things. I don't know how they got there, but.
Well, we know how you got to your leadership position. Growth. Growth. Yeah. You were just a good leader. You had to be.
Yeah. And I think, the whole, be who you be, we all do it, right? Be who you didn't want them to be to you. So I've always looked at what not to do as well. And then what not to do also taught me to notice the other what not to do's. So that made it a lot easier for me to navigate to my own peers. So yeah, but absolutely, yes.
Well, that's what's up. All right, Shakara, are there any sisters in service that inspire you? Past or present, any branch, doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what? Man, that's a whole other podcast segment. But I can't I'm going to go the Academy Award route with this one. Because you know how you start naming names, you forget somebody. So I'm going to say yes, right?
If you don't call more than one name, I'm going to tag Rhonda and be like, hey, Rhonda, you're the only sister in service that has ever inspired Shakara. And I can prove it.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
Wow, you're having this hard of a time thinking of black women's names. Wow, no, Roxy. Wow.
It's so many. That's what I mean.
Sure.
It really is. So I have, oh wow! So I'm going over my years in the military.
Rhonda, you are the only sister in service that Shakara was ever inspired by, and I just want you to know that I'm keeping that in the podcast. I'm not editing this out, Shakara.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work backwards. So I'm gonna work. So of course, clearly, Rhonda, right? We've been first of all for her. It's because it's a few things. Two branches of service. Marine and Army. So
she's a tough lady. She don't be playing around.
And she don't play them games, right? And then, there was a sergeant major. I'm gonna send it to her because She did. Her name was Chandrell Stewart. She'd probably be mad that I mentioned her name, but I'm going to mention her name anyway. She was the most highest, no-nonsense leaders that I ever met. And what's funny was me and her got into it a few times because of her personality. I think we were more alike than I thought. And I didn't take her. And actually, she was the reason why I'm like, that's probably why people don't know how to take me. But yeah, her, oh man.
You know, you can also just like name somebody you don't know, just a sister that you know in service that has like done some really cool shit. For me personally, I would say Admiral Zeta Merchant. I've never met this lady. We've never even been in the same state as far as I know, but she is the first African American lady admiral in the Coast Guard. And I rocks with that.
And then there's so you know, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. You heard them teach.
That also makes sense since you friends with Rhonda.
Right? We have an honorary member. Her name is Edna Cummings. She does the history of the 688th Postal Battalion, which were made up of Black women. And hearing their story and having a few of their relatives tell the story, it's interesting to know where they came from and where they are in history today. Her podcast is on the Smithsonian Magazine website. I think Smithsonian.
Wait, she got a podcast? What is it?
Yeah, there's a podcast. Oh, the Smithsonian has a podcast, and I think the website is www.smithsonian.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and she does a podcast interview where she talks about that. So I adore her and I admire her because she does a lot of speeches across, of course, the East Coast of Maryland and D.C. area. But there's going to be like a documentary coming out on that soon. So I'm looking forward to viewing that as well and just seeing it. And I didn't even know, and I'll be honest, you know, and I'm not really a history buff. I'm going to sit here and lie and pretend that I am. But that did kind of pique my interest on the things that we've done early on in our time in the military. But her, and when I say so many, because I've pulled, and I know that sounds like a cliche. I know it sounds cliche, right? That you can't just pull out names, but I say that because it was so many people that touched my heartstring, or you know, pulled me to the side. It was Sergeant Major Ambersley. That was her name, Deanna Ambersley. When I thought I was, you know, when I was trying to stay on the side of right, and even in my later on career, I still had a hard time with my delivery. You know, I had a hard time, and I had to learn a hard lesson that, again, the message matters, but the messenger matters even more. So, oh man, so I try to give names, and I know I suck at that because I want to name everybody. I want to on the laundry list. I mean, my mom's not even in the military, right? She's not military, but she's my hero, even though she hadn't served. My mom, she was my first hero, my first mentor.
Of course. And you know, might I add that I love how close you are with your mom and dad, your family. Yeah. It is heartwarming. Like you've brought these people up several times over the course of this interview, and it's just really nice to know you're a full-grown adult. And you love these people like they are just Superman and Superwoman.
Yes. And me and my siblings are close, right?
I love it. Well, you're their oldest sister. They probably...
Right. They love me.
Of course.
Right. And they were all part of my career. My family, my husband, my kids, they all were with me, the entire time. But I have a hard time answering that question, and not because
You're good. I was just giving you a hard time, girl.
Yeah, don't do that. That's why I had to go to Academy Award route. Okay, you didn't let me do that. You made me think about that, holding me up. Okay, I do have a hard time with that, and I need to get better at that. So thank you for that.
You good. And this is a side question. This has not a lot to do with anything, but if you don't mind my asking, did you ever get deployed overseas? Like, did you ever have to work in like Germany or Japan or South Korea? Because I know the Army likes to send people to those spots.
Yes. So I deployed. I was in Afghanistan.
Oh, snap. What part?
Lord, Kandahar.
You were in Kandahar?
I was in Kandahar in 2002 to 2003. And Uzbekistan too. Like, we was in two different places. So
wait, did you fight in the war?
Oh, no, I didn't. No, ma'am, I did not fight. Mm-mm.
I mean, because it sounds like you were in a war zone during a wartime.
During wartime. So I will say this. I did go when it first kicked off. 9/11 happened in 2001.
Yes, and you joined in the year 2000, right before.
Yep. I left in January of 2002 to Afghanistan.
Wow.
And
That's
then,
the very beginning of it, because it didn't really get popping until like March of 2003, something like that.
Yeah. What's funny is I left right back out in 2003.
Okay.
There was no dwell time when I first deployed, right? Now
you
come back.
There's no what?
No dwell, like a time where you just kind of stop and then you go back, right?
Right.
I came, but while I was in Afghanistan, I knew in December of 2002 that I was leaving right back out in 2003.
Jeez.
And we went to Iraq.
You had a turnaround trip for the Middle East?
Yes. So I turned right back around in 2003 and went to Iraq.
Jeez.
Until 2004. Mm-hmm. So when I say dwell time, like, how you can go to downrange and have a little bit of time in between before you go back. We knew the Christmas, and we found out during Christmas, the Christmas holidays, that we were going right back out the following year. Yep.
Jeez.
And I was stationed in Germany. I was stationed in Korea. And I was stationed in Hawaii.
Girl, you had all the... I knew after 23 years as an EA, I knew you had to have had some overseas time.
Honestly, I like the overseas a lot better. But I feel like, I was destined to be here in the Pacific Northwest, because I think I spent a lot of my career stateside. I went to Fort Bragg.
Okay.
But I always ended up back at Joint Base Lewis McChord when it was Fort Lewis. When it was I was Joint Base Lewis McChord. I've been stationed at Fort Lewis 3 times in my career.
Lord.
And I left and I retired. Well, I didn't retire from JBLM, but the MEPS was in Seattle. So I stayed in the area. Yeah. So that's why I'm still here.
It was meant to be.
You are destined to be overseas. Do you understand me? That's what I feel like. I mean, destined to be on JBLM.
The Army kept you out of the South. That's what it sounds like.
It did.
They were like, you've had enough of good weather.
It's like, yes, And I go home to Louisiana, baby, I'm about to pass out as if I never lived there for 19 years. Do you understand me?
I know it.
Oh, it's so hot, Lord. Like, my mom everybody looking at me like, girl, you from here. It don't feel like it. Oh, But I enjoy it, and I don't mind a little heat.
Got unacclimated to the weather.
And acclimated to JBLM weather, okay? I mean, Washington State weather. Yeah.
That's what's up. Let's say you were just starting your life out on your own, and you were presented with the chance to join the service for the first time. Knowing what you know now, would you still join?
Yes, I know, right? I know. Even with all the stuff I said, all the complaints I had, right?
This is a normal answer. Like, I get it.
Yeah. Yes, because even through all of the challenging, all the things that we face as Black women are in the services, it still put me in a spot of where I am today. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think my answer is predicated on that. I'm looking at me now, right? So that's probably why my yes was so fast. But so much, and I've learned so much. I've met so many people. I'm actually on this platform speaking and talking, believe it or not. And a lot of people, and Rhonda will tell you, and everybody always look at me and say, I would not have believed that. I do not like public speaking. I'm always concerned about what I sound like to people, or, I'm not going to say the wrong thing, or just that nervous wreck. But you can't pay me to shut up now. You understand what I'm saying?
Good.
So,
you're the perfect person to be talking. You are a very down-to-earth person, and you're just easy to talk to.
Thank you so much, right? And I appreciate that. That's it. Because you couldn't pay me. And a lot of my jobs in the military kind of forced me to do that. If anything, I would say yes, because it propelled me to help me step outside of my comfort zone of things that I'm normally not comfortable with. And I've been in a place I didn't think I would ever be. Me and my mom, my sisters, we've done things we never thought we would do. Like, it introduced me to a whole new world, especially when I actually decided to. I made a decision, right, to accept other people's, cultures, beliefs, because as you grow, other people's cultures are interesting.
Yeah. You want your culture to be accepted, so you treat others with the same respect. Yeah.
So I learned a lot. So I would say, looking at who I am now, I can easily answer that question. But if you ask 19-year-old me or 20-year-old me that got 21-year-old me that got on Arc of 15s, hell no. You know what I mean? Right. So, but grown adult, nice, old, new thick of me, absolutely. I believe.
Graduated from the Army, you.
Yes, right.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Roxy, if you had a daughter or any young impressionable Black girl in your life that you cared about, and she was considering a life in the military, would you try and talk her out of joining?
That's yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. So the no would be if she's solid in her decision or solid in what she's looking to do. Because I feel like in the military, and now that, like I said, being retired and then retiring as a MEPS First Sergeant, watching these kids go through there, it depends on your reason, right? If you're indecisive about what you want to do and you just pick the military because it was quick and it was the easiest thing you could think about, I would say no, right? Because you would be, for some people, it may be a good thing. You might join, and then next thing you know, I love it. It's end up being amazing. Or you get in, and then you realize that it's not for you. And if you're not, if you're not prepped, and I use the word prepped, like I remember we talked about being prepped, and you go in there with your own stuff, and now you got in trouble, all kind of things that happen that you probably wouldn't have experienced had you just kind of sat in that for a little bit. But and if it is an indecisive thing, I think I would have the discussion like, hey, what are you looking to do, right? What do you want to do for real? Is this a long-term thing? Because that changes things, right? Mm-hmm. I'll tell any child, any person that's looking at, or any child, woman, sister that's joining the military right now, if you're trying to make it a career, go to college and become an officer. That's like my.
I heard that.
That's like my slogan, right?
Yeah. Make life easy for yourself.
Go do that, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to be enlisted, then this is the route you should go. Like, I would try to give them 23 years of advice in like an hour. Because that's all. Because I don't want them to experience nothing, right? I don't want you to go through nothing, right? But that's not the case. I would definitely be honest and say, hey, it's going to be like any other organization, right? You're going to have those bad apples. Because, a lot of people say, well, I left the military because of the people. Mm-hmm. I left the military because of an experience I had. And I'm going to say this, there's some experiences that are really traumatic, and I'm not going to get into, traumatic that causes you.
I'm familiar with the military. I know how bad we are sometimes.
Right. So I'm not saying that. But there are sometimes, small things you disagree with, things that you wouldn't typically disagree with on a regular job, right? Mm-hmm. Just, having that understanding and knowing, although this is a very, very, very allegedly, structured organization. I used the alleged word. I said it. Structured with, norms, traditions, and all the things that you have to follow. There's still you have the same issues that you would have in a regular job. So you're not running away from anything, is my point. Right. So yes, I would talk them into it with all of that. The no would be based on what their expectation is. So if their expectation management is off, absolutely not. Do not join the military.
Good looking out. Thank you, First Sergeant. I think. This is just as a side note. I think it's very interesting you did bring up that people will leave the military because of the people. That's a very good point. The military is arguably the most violent job that you can sign up for. It's literally war. You're putting your life on the line for your country. You sign up for that knowing that you're doing that. But the reason you leave is not because of the threat of your life. It's because racism and bitch-assness.
That's right. There's a lot, doesn't it? Right? That says a lot, doesn't it?
That's crazy. Like, I'm not leaving because I could die. I'm leaving because this person keeps effing up my evals on purpose because they don't like me because I'm a Black woman.
And what's crazy? Because you already know that part, right? The first part. It's enough. That's enough, right? You're saying to yourself, it's enough. I'm already sacrificing, literally sacrificing. Now you want me to sacrifice this too?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's too much. That's too much to ask.
You're asking me too much. You're already asking me to possibly get shot at.
Right.
Possibly driving somewhere. To possibly, because a lot of people do that too. Oh, because, you're not in, and, people get that confused too because you're not infantry and at one point, you can't even blame me for that. I couldn't be. right? Of course now, it's equal. Everybody can be infantry women. Everybody can be infantry. But when I joined, we couldn't. So we had to pick what we picked. I chose to be HR. That's what I chose. You chose your job, and I chose mine. So a lot of people, and that's the other thing too. They'll downplay your sacrifice. That's what I meant. So I'm on the HR, so my sacrifice is not as big as the person that's busting down doors.
I bet you the person busting down doors wants a paycheck. I bet you that. And I bet you they want it to be right.
But at the same time, if you look at everybody, that's a lot of people that are comrades, that are fallen comrades, they were every MOS or every job. Right. So there goes that point, mute one. And so you're asking me to already do that, and then now I gotta subject myself to your shit.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's crazy. All right. Recruitment and retention is down across all the branches and with all demographics. Black women are not excluded from that. This was true even before the pandemic. Why do you think Black women are so disinterested in joining the military?
Well, I'll say this, right? Although we're doing a better job at it, right? We're doing a better job at acknowledging the challenges that we face as being, because it's out loud, right? It's like all these different campaigns and all these different things happening. Well, while that works for people that's in, right? We're all like, yes, they're noticing it. They're seeing these things. But on the outside, they got all that going on. They have all these movements and all this different stuff. They have that girl. I'm not becoming a part of that. I think it's a double-edged sword. That's the first thing, right? Okay. And then the second thing is, it's not appealing, right? Even me as a 23-year veteran, entrepreneurship is like the thing for us right now, right? I want to be, and you're not helping me. The Army doesn't teach you that. They teach you that's not appealing. It's not appealing to one. Not only work for somebody else and go through stuff that I ain't got to go through.
Right. It's actually stifling to join the military if you're a creative type, because the military does not push creativity. It pushes tradition, and that's not creative at all.
That's not, right? So, and then you have to find ways. I got to work hard to be innovative and creative. But you're telling me in all of your material, your printed material, your regulations, and all these different things that you're looking for an innovative leader, or you're looking for that's creative and all these things, but you're not. Right. I think that there is not. You don't introduce me to what I'm looking to be. It's something you kind of keeping me there. It's like you're stifling me and keeping me in a space. You're putting all these nuggets in my face, telling me how I can grow as a leader in this organization, right? But now I got to do the work outside of the organization. I got to do my own reading. I got to do my own college. I got to do all these different things on top of working to be who I want to be. So it's easier to go to college, become a businesswoman, or to go to these different, pick a platform, all these different conferences, all these different certifications. It's a lot more to offer now. Right. Where I can go here in 6 months and be making my own lipstick, or doing my own skincare, or talking to that scientist, that Black scientist who understands how products work together and how these things. I have a friend. She's a biologist. She has her own business. She's a veteran. Nice. She does all these things, and I always say to her, I don't think she would have had the time to do all of that while serving. So when she got out, what she did. Her name's Tessa. I'm shouting her out. Wait, Tessa? Tessa. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to have you call her. This is a secret, so you can interview her as well. But,
hey, I already text messaged her.
You did already? Oh, I gave you her information, didn't I?
I think it was Rhonda who gave me her information, but you can take credit too.
Okay, thank you for that. For sure. Why are we whispering? I think it's on. You keeping this in. That was cute. But, so she's very cute. So
shouts out to Tessa.
So she does, so she's like one of the people one of those people. If you ask her, it would probably be the same answer, right? It's no longer appealing. I wasn't even educated on the military, but it was appealing to me because of what I wanted to do at the time. Right. But now we are powerful women. You see us everywhere. We are everywhere on all kind of platforms, doing all the things. Right. I think that's why Black women, they're like, yeah, nah.
And just to circle back a little bit, you're not even doing the thing that you joined the military to do, at all. And you're not even...
At all. Girl, I'm nowhere near a pharmacist right now. Right. I go to pharmacy of all this medicine. that I got.
Roxy started off wanting to be a drug dealer, and now she's pushing paperwork. G-Unit.
Nah, you know what I mean? Nah, you're right. I'm gonna feel up. I'm on the side drug dealer. Right now I ain't doing nothing but sitting here, but just being. But yeah, right, ironic, right? So yeah.
Roxy, if you were conducting this interview from where I'm sitting, what question would you have asked you that I did not ask you?
Oh wow. You're gonna make me answer it too if I say. So that's the part. That's why I'm sitting here like I want to say nothing. You know how it works. You know how people say in an interview, if there's anything that you would thought that you would ask me, and they're like, "Oh, okay, go ahead and answer that."
It's a trick question, Roxy. Absolutely.
It is a trick question. Okay, and you're the interviewer, so you can make it sound interviewing when I finish asking it. Make it sound interviewing. For me, and if I was like, before, I guess the caveat on the question that you just originally asked, right? About, no, not that one, the other one about what would I tell if I would have them join, yes or no? Mm-hmm. That what would be the thing or area where you would want to make the most impact? Because that's important, right?
Okay.
Like if you joined as a Black woman, because that's a question.
Yeah.
Where would you want to be instrumental in this organization? Even if you don't know, imagine it, right? Imagine yourself, because you might not have the answer because you're just joining. But what speaks to you? Says a lot. So make it interviewing. Make it sound interviewing.
Make it sound interviewing.
Then I can answer it for you. So I don't know how to make it sound interviewing, but that is.
Hey Roxy, what's your area of interest? Like if you were to join the military right now and you could be instrumental in one particular part, one particular section, what department would you want to be instrumental in?
Mentorship.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I would tell, and I say that because I would have already been grooming myself or in my mind, right? Or trying to put myself, you put things in the atmosphere and it comes back, or you place it, in the universe. Or for me, I give it to God and God gives it right back to me in the way he want me to do it. Mm-hmm. But had somebody told me, because I know now that I would want to have been somebody's mentor, but I would want it to have been the best mentee I could possibly have been.
Okay.
The question you asked earlier about that mentor thing is real. Because one, I didn't know how to seek. I sought based on what I thought I wanted. But if we go in and somebody's already saying, hey, seek that person, and this is the things that you should look for, because I've been there and done that, that would be the area I would flock to, because somebody told me that's what I should be doing, or I exuded that from somebody. So I think that should be, to me, that should be a thing. Outside of the typical, your job, what you're qualified in, I am definitely a deeper than that person. I think it's, hey, you good at HR. I could push some paper, but what am I instrumental in, right?
I like that. And you know what? Actually, that sounds like something that would fall under MWR or 42 Alpha anyways.
It would, right? But
and it sounds like something that would help with the retention numbers, because young people coming into the military, you don't know what you don't know, but a mentor would help. And if you were immediately teamed up with a mentor, you would have a better transition into military life.
Exactly. And then able to tackle those challenges that's foreign to you, because somebody's there. Literally doing the right thing for you on your behalf.
It's an immediate point in the right direction. I would like that. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what you do with it at this point is now your fault or a good thing, right? Because I done told you. I done told you already. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Roxy, is there anything you would like to leave our audience with? Any parting words? Anything that you want to promote? Anything that you want to push?
Oh, I would say this. One, thank you for this platform. Thank you for, I'm giving you your flowers right now. This is, a lot of people aren't doing this. If they're doing it at a very, very smaller space. I like the idea that you think big and you think beyond most. So I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to come on here and speak with you. I do have something to promote. I haven't started it yet, but I suffer from, and like I said, this is another thing, you can interview me later, something to add to it, but I suffer from, I'm diagnosed with bipolar. I was medically retired. And I found out at 43 that I have bipolar. Now, we all know that's not the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm building this platform where I'm becoming like an advocate, especially for my sisters. You know, we have a stigma, but we don't like to talk about it.
Yep.
Have the strength. And it took a lot of courage for me to even start Instagram for it. Follow me at Roxy on Purpose, Roxy_on_purpose. That's on Instagram, Roxy_on_purpose. Okay.
And I will be following you on Instagram. So if anybody follows me, look at who I'm following. You will find her by the time this post.
Right. So I was nervous, and I'm thanking you because you've pushed me, even though you don't know that. I thank God for this because I have been kind of nervous about speaking. So you have given me the energy, the strength, and the courage to do so. So I appreciate you for that. That's my parting words. Ladies, my sisters in arms, retired, are in. AU, be you, and be your you for somebody else because they need it.
Come on.
That's it.
Thank you, Roxy. Thank you so much. Look, no, thank you for the flowers. They were beautiful words, and I loved all of them. Thank you for giving me your IG address, so now I know where to follow you at. All right, because we're gonna keep up with you. All of us listening to you right now, we're gonna follow you on IG.
I appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
And I got some other stuff, but I'll just follow you. And you can follow me on all of those things. Because I even have a marriage thing. Me and my husband do this thing called Crazy Married Cool for all my married folks.
Come on, I'm with it. That's what I'm talking about.
So I'll even shout out that a little bit, but that's all I got. No.
You better push Black Love. Wait, he is a brother, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He is a brother. Fun. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Roxy. Thank you for coming on this platform. Thank you for taking the time to share your story. It was important and also very entertaining and fun. You're easy to talk to. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being yourself.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. Bye now. And that concludes this episode of the Seasoned Vet Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And a special thank you to First Sergeant Shakara Debose for sharing her story and taking the time to make this interview possible. Now, if you are or know a Black lady veteran who would like to sit down with me and be a part of this show, please email me at seasonedvetpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can call or text message me at 713-254-0970. You can also find, follow, and inbox me, The Seasoned Vet, across all platforms of social media. At Real Seasoned Vet on Twitter, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on Instagram, at Seasoned Vet Podcast on TikTok, at Seasoned Vet on YouTube, Seasoned Vet on Facebook. Y'all, I'm so out there, I'm even on Spoutable. That's at The Seasoned Vet on Spoutable. Now, if you like what you heard, please like it, share it, rate it, and leave a good review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And if you're hearing this episode on the day that it drops, then you're listening to it on April 8th, 2024. Today is the 78th birthday of Robert Louis Johnson. Robert L. Johnson was born on this date in 1946 in Hickory, Mississippi. He is widely known as the founder and former CEO of Black Entertainment Television. Under his control, BET remained Black-owned and operated from 1980 until 2001, when it was sold to the giant media group Viacom for a reported $3 billion. This sale made Mr. Johnson the first African-American billionaire. Thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, fall out.